Hey, welcome back to the Man Guide. I'm Thomas Corey from Bike Nerds, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to keep your bike maintained and running good. Most people leave their bike in the garage during the winter time because you can't ride. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put air in the tires to make sure that the bike is inflated and the tires are inflated properly. Now most tires will actually say it on the sidewall here what the proper pressure is. So I actually like to put air in my tires before every time I ride just to make sure it's properly inflated. That'll actually make you ride a lot faster. You just get the proper pump. This one actually has the Presta valve. Depending on what kind of bike you have, it could either be the Presta valve or the Schrader valve, which is like the more standard valve, like the car valve. This one is the Presta valve. This is a little higher pressure valve. So what we'll do is we'll open the valve, we'll push it down just to release the air. And then we put the pump on. Let's see, this one is down to 60 PSI. We'll just pump it up to 120. That should do it for the air pressure. A lot of people don't know, but the air actually makes you ride a lot faster. So if you feel like you're riding slow, just check your air pressure and it might be that. General rule of thumb when you first get it out the garage is just to make sure that the chain is clean. It might have accumulated some dust. We like to actually just take a basic paper towel and you can go and you can pedal the bike backwards like this and just get any excess grime and dirt that's built on there. Making sure the chain is clean is very important. The chain is pretty much like the heart of the bike. So if the chain is not running properly, the bike's not going to pedal well. So we like to clean the chain. And then once you do that, it could be a little dry. We take chain lubricant, but what you do is you just take the lubricant and you'll just put it on one drop at a time on each link. And this will actually help the bike chain last a lot longer and ride a lot smoother. So we like to do this, go all the way around, make sure we got some oil on each link. And you'd be surprised how much smoother it rides just with a little bit of oil. The brakes don't usually need adjusting as much, but if it's been sitting for a while, I would recommend to check it. The first thing I like to do is just to squeeze the handle to make sure you have a nice pull on the cable. You might want to spin the wheel just to see if the brake is actually rubbing the surface at all. Sometimes if the bike leans against the wall, if it's in storage for a while, the actual brake caliper might get pushed over a little bit, so you might just want to check it. You can move it a little bit on this particular caliper, but if you need to do more adjustment, I would recommend to take it into a bike shop and they can help you out. But definitely check the brakes before you take it for a ride because you don't want to be slowed down for a rubbing brake. In terms of gear maintenance, you can do some basic things. The main thing that affects the gears is the actual cable itself. So I just like to, before I go for a ride, just like to go through and make sure that it's clicking to all the gears properly. Most of the time when you have it adjusted properly, it won't need too much maintenance. But if it's been sitting for a while, sometimes the grease in the shifter can freeze up a little bit and that can make it a little tougher to shift. You might just want to lubricate also the cables here. So if you just spray a little bit of oil on the ends of the cables, would help the bike function a lot easier and would keep it maintained better. One general rule of thumb is make sure everything on the bike is tight. Just with riding and vibration, things will get loose after a while, the nuts and the bolts. Now the most common tool that we use for the bicycle is the Allen key set. We actually have, this is called the Y tool. This will have a 4mm, a 5mm, and a 6mm. And basically this will be the main sizes of all the bolts. Will be the stem here, the handlebar stem, the brakes, the gears. Most adjustments are actually done with this particular tool here. So you won't need too many other tools if you're just doing some basic maintenance besides this, a screwdriver, a pump, chain oil. And basically I just like to go around before every ride and just make sure that everything is tight. Each item will have actually specs on how tight you want it to be tightened. I like to just do it till it's about tight and then just maybe give a little turn off and just make sure everything is tight all the way around. You can check the gears, You can check the brakes. And with this tool, you should be able to do most of that. Signing out for the Man Guide, this is Thomas Corey from Bike Nerds. Just wishing everybody a safe ride and a happy summer. Hope you all do well and enjoy the weather.